Hello and good day, Mike Adcock with an update on Tropical Cyclone Alessia in the Timor Sea. This brief is based on the 06 Zulu Bureau of Meteorology advisory from the 23rd of November. Taking a look at the satellite imagery, Alessia is starting to make landfall there in Western Australia, battling some dry air currently between that and the proximity of land. Really not going to see a lot of intensification at this point. Should continue to move off toward the east, affecting the northern Kimberley coast, and then overnight into Sunday should be moving toward Colombo and over toward just south of Darwin there. Looking at the 06 Zulu data from the Bureau of Meteorology, this is as of 2 p.m. Western Australian time. Center of Alessia was 200 kilometers west of Colombo, or 690 kilometers west-southwest of Darwin. The system continues to move eastward at 20 kilometers per hour. Current winds 65 kilometers per hour, gusting to 95, and the pressure 996 hectopascal. Taking a look at the Dvorak Analysis, Bureau of Meteorology going with a 2.0 for the final T, current intensity of 2.5. That brought them to their 35 knots for the initial intensity. NESDIS a little bit on the stronger side. They're solely basing it off of the model and pattern, because the data T of 2.0 was based off of about a 1 degree CDO. So opted to go for 3.0. That brings them to about 45 knots. JTWC, they kept it at 2.0 for the final T. That's based on a 3.5 tenths convection wrap. But because of Dvorak and the way it works as a system weakens, the current intensity lags a little bit, so still 3.0 there for the current intensity. The advanced Dvorak technique, 3.3 or about 51 knots. So bottom line, on the Australian scale, looking at a Category 1 cyclone, Saffir-Simpson scale would be a weak tropical storm. Looking at the surface analysis at 6 Zulu, Alessia is continuing to move off toward the east. Do have a trough of low pressure there in interior Australia. That's helping to kick off some showers and thunderstorms there. It's going to be Alessia is going to be dragged toward that, partly because of the lower pressure, partly because of high pressure building in over east central Australia. Taking a look at the Australia's official track for the system, again hugging the coast there, affecting Colombo before moving off toward Northern Territory. Looking for landfall right now between Darwin and Port Keats. Of course, for storm information specific to your area, continue to follow the forecasts and warnings issued by your local meteorology agency. Right now, there is a blue alert out. Right now, people in or near communities between Curry Bay and Western Australia Northern Territory border, including Colombo and Wyndham, need to prepare for cyclonic weather and organize an emergency kit to include first aid kit, torch, portable radio, spare batteries, food, and water. The territory controller advises residents of Darwin and rural areas that if you do not have accommodation constructed to the building code or are unsure of your present accommodation, you should decide which public emergency shelter to use. You should now have your emergency kit complete and ready. Do not proceed to the public emergency shelters until advised to do so. And for residents in the Northern Territory border to Point Stewart, you are advised that now is the time to make final preparations to your home and shelter, or identify which public emergency shelter to use. Take a look at the JTWC track. Pretty similar, a little bit south, a little more toward Port Keats. Current intensity a little bit stronger, 85 kilometers per hour, gusting to 100. We do expect winds to start to weaken a little bit as the cyclone starts to affect land over the next couple of days. Right now, in terms of rainfall, GFS is showing a couple hundred millimeters of rainfall possible there south of Darwin. From the Bureau of Meteorology, though, they're saying that the rainfall is going to be likely confined to the coastal areas, and then even with that, should be less than what's typical with a tropical low or cyclone. And just take a look at this. I mean, some of the rainfall readings this is putting out. Granted, this is valid from this morning all the way through Wednesday morning of the 27th. Still looking at pretty strong amounts of rainfall. So this does look like it's going to be a little bullish in terms of amounts. Surface weather in and around the area, just looking at general low pressure. Matter of fact, some of the surrounding sites closest to the storm actually have higher pressure. You can see here 1,000, 3,000, 4 hectopascal versus what's going on in interior Western Australia, where pressure is a little bit lower, mainly because of the warm temperatures. Did grab those reports though nearest to the storm. Browse Island about 140 kilometers to the west-northwest. Winds right now sustained at 39 kilometers per hour. Pressure 1,003.7. For Trotten Island, winds 28 kilometers there, 1,004.4 hectopascal. And then a little bit further out still, Adele Island, 22 kilometer per hour winds out of the west-southwest, and pressure of 1,004.6. Of course, you can get this and other Western Pacific analysis over at westernpacificweather.com. You can also follow along on the Twitter and Facebook feeds and join in on the conversation at storm2k.org. Thank you all for tuning in. Be safe out there. Have a great day and take care.